The brand new feeder pack is here, and we're about to put them to the test. I have created what I call the feeder gauntlet. What you see on screen right now is the zoomed out view of what I have created, and it looks ridiculous. Now, if we end up zooming in, we will see that I have 7 different feeders, along with 8 tents and 7 stands. This is a crazy expensive setup to do. But I got to thinking, considering the attraction radius of these feeders is 400 meters, anything that passes within 400 meters has a chance of getting attached to that particular feeder and using that as their feed zone instead of their original feed zone. And you can also place feeders 300 meters apart. So I decided, you know what, we're going to go to a place on Vurhonga where you can see for 300 meters in multiple different directions for a very long distance. And we kind of zigzagged it for, what is this, probably over a kilometer to create this insane gauntlet of feeders where we're just going to bounce from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and see how effective it is. I have yet to actually shoot anything at these feeders, so we're about to find out if it works. Ooh, we've got some more of them that have noticed our feeder. Oh, this is perfect. Now, obviously, we are not going to have a chance to shoot them right now at the feeder. So we're going to take this guy. This is going to be our first kill. Let's go ahead and do it. Now, because we are using the post feeders, we will have to refill them quite often. So I don't know how effective and fast this grinding method is actually going to be, but provided it's decently speedy, this is going to be an awesome way to switch things up and be able to hunt away from drink zones. So as you can see, we've got our feeder right there. We got the stand and our tent right there. And I think what I'm going to do is every time I go to one, just click refill. That way I don't have to do it from the map. There's our first kill right there. And now the next thing we do is hop into the stand and we look over at the other feeder. We have some springbok at this one. That is amazing. I think this is actually going to work out quite well. Let's get lined up. Again, I'm not going to use the proper weapon. We're just going to see how this works. This is not a rare for those that are curious. That is considered an uncommon, but they look really cool. So you know what? We're going to do it. Let's kill 2 of them. And now we go down here. And just like that, we are next to our next stand. And as we can see, there's our feeder. There's currently nothing at it. And I guess depending on how many animals actually have feed zones in the area, this definitely could happen from time to time. Which is why we're going to have to do some testing and see, like, what is the best location to do this method. But obviously, this seems like it's going to be a really fun way to hunt, and it's going to really switch things up. It's going to be similar to the grinding that we know, except without using drink zones, without using feed zones, by creating our own zones, kind of just wherever we want. Ooh, there we go. So feeder 3 didn't have anything, but feeder 4 does. That is beautiful. Here we go. We got a few down range. Let's pop her and let's pop that male because hopefully he'll respawn as something larger. One other male. Can I get him? There we go. We got him. Now, obviously, I need to get in the groove of refilling these every single time I get here because that's really going to save us some time versus clicking it on the map like this, because then you got to do that. Then you got to do this. And then it like throws the map to the side. So you definitely want to be going up and actually clicking on them. That seems to be much faster. There's our little guys. There we go. That's our male. I don't know where the last one went. Go ahead and fill this feeder right there. Actually, it's already filled because we literally just filled it up from the map. I probably should have remembered that. Let's see. What do we got? Where did I put this other one? It's right there. Oh, we got a pig. That's interesting. Let's pop him real quick. And that's our next kill. The really cool thing about this is depending on what time of day you go with, you'll be able to see different animals at the feeders, and you can always change the type of bait up as well if you want to attract, species that won't be attracted to the one that we're using. So give it a little bit of like experimentation if you try this out. Try different times of day, see what types of species are feeding at that time. Try the other bait and see what you can get. I think we can see a lot of different effective methods for different species, and obviously at different parts of the map you're going to have different species too. I'm so excited to try more and more things with this. Let's get that guy down, and he's dead. So with this one right here, I had to place the stand a little bit farther away, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. It's actually our last location that we're going to go to before heading back to the beginning. So let's see. Oh, yeah. We got some stuff down there. We got some pigs. Look at what? Dude, I thought he dropped dead. I thought that poor little piggy had a heart attack, but he just went to sleep. I guess he ate way too much from the feeder. And now he actually died. Sorry, little guy. You were just, foretelling the future. And just like this, we have finished going through our gauntlet. This is going to be such a fun way to switch things up and get a variety of species instead of just one. I'm actually kind of curious what other times of day that we can have this actually be effective at. I wonder if wildebeest will go to these. That would actually be kind of cool if they did. Let me see what they, what time they feed at. So 9 to 12, it's actually their feed time now. Let's go ahead and head back to the first tent and see if the wildebeest will show up. Well, looky there. I mean, obviously it's nervous because I was just shooting stuff around these areas, but that's a wildebeest. They are attracted to the feeders. Oh, that is sick. That is so cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to the main menu so these guys are no longer spooked. If you guys are new to the channel, that's a little trick you can do if an animal gets spooked and won't return to its zone, or in this case, feeder. You can just main menu and it'll stop being all nervous and spooked. Let's see, what do we got here? A Gemsbok? I mean, I guess it is kind of like walking off. Definitely interesting that the wildebeest isn't back. Wait, oh, that was a lion. We'll let him live. That's probably one of the level 5s I was stacking. And that's a wildebeest there. Way off the path, though, so we'll let it live for now. There's our little Gemsbok right there. Let's go ahead and fill up the feeder once again. Since I did reset the time to the next day, it did take a good amount away. So this is not a cheap way to do this. But obviously, that's not really the point. The point is to get the super fast and effective kills on different species in a different way that you normally wouldn't be hunting them. And just to kind of show you guys that the feeders aren't just going to be cool for like casual hunting. This is actually going to be a really awesome way to hunt like in a grinding sense too. More for if you want to hunt like multiple species and just try to get as many trophies as you can of them. Like this is going to be a phenomenal way to go about doing that. Now let's refill again. There we go. On to the next zone. Oh. Well, that's a problem. That's definitely a problem. That lion just spooked off our beautiful little wildebeest. Unfortunate. There we go. We got a couple more springbok there. Now, one thing that I am going to be curious about is how, like, respawns are going to work. Because so far, I have not seen the respawns show up to any of the zones that we've been hunting from. But maybe I just haven't shot enough animals for me to see anything. I guess we'll find out as we go along more. Ooh, look at that. That is so many warthogs. That's what we love to see. We did not see that many warthogs before. Definitely a pleasant surprise this time around. Let's see. We got one male. I think it's just one. So we will... Oh, maybe? Okay, that's a female. We'll pop him and then get her since she's just right there in line with him. And it seems like we have more problems with lions. That's unfortunate, but hey, it's just part of Virhonga Savannah, and to be honest, I think we spooked the lion over into this area, so we're just gonna have to shoot that little guy. I think it's the only one that did not get scared. We are back to the beginning, and we've got ourselves a wildebeest right there at our feeder. Love to see it. Oh, there was a whole lot more of them there. I guess they just hadn't made it over to the feeder yet. Unfortunate that I didn't wait like 2 more seconds. Otherwise, we would have got to see all of those sitting at the feeder. Which at some point, I'd like to see a pretty large amount of these guys just chilling at one of our feeders. That'd be so cool. Nothing over at our other feeders. So that's unfortunate. Now, something that I did mention towards the beginning of this video, or at least I think I remembered to mention it, is that animals will not go here until they have discovered it. So the animals need to walk past your feeders, or more specifically, walk within 400 meters of it in order to actually know that it's there and decide they want to go to it. So, for example, I just changed it to wildebeest feeding time for the first time So wildebeest that are feeding in this area may have just discovered that these things even exist. And because of that, we might not get any wildebeest here because we don't really have too many zones that I've discovered down here. So I don't even know how many are over there. But we know for a fact there's wildebeest areas like right here. So I bet if I place one like near this, they'd be there instantly. But so far, this is the only wildebeest that has shown up there because we saw it cross by earlier when it was on the way to another zone. Well, look at that. This time we have 3 Gemsbok here instead of, I think it was 1 last time. That is definitely what we want to see. Now, obviously, by killing all 3 of these, if they were the only 3 in their herd, they will not get respawns in the same group, so they'd have to respawn kind of just wherever they end up, and hopefully they'll be close enough to come back to these feeders, but we're just trying to have fun today. We're showing off what these things are capable of doing, and so we're just going to take down anything that shows up here. I'm likely going to move these stands anyway and these feeders at some point, to try and find the best of the best location, but for now, this seems to be an all right spot. Once again, if anybody wants to try it out, it's right down here, and ooh, 26% bait remaining, eh? Guess we should fill up. There is our little springbok. Another dead springbok. Let's kill this little level 2 pig. Smoked him. Well, everybody, I think that's really all we have to show off today. This is a really fun way to use the feeders to get a lot of efficiency and a lot of kills quick, especially if you find an area where there's lots of animals crossing through there anyway. Obviously, I didn't have time to let a bunch of animals cross by. The more animals you have in the area and the more animals that walk around the area, the more you're going to have at those feeders whenever you do start actually grinding. So, keep that in mind. We just slapped these down and tried them out pretty much immediately. So even though we did get a lot of animals, you could get even more. There's also some other ways that I want to use the feeders in future videos, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be trying to use them to lure some of our whitetail, moose, etc., some of our great one species that are at 2 separate zones. We're going to see if we can get them to merge into one zone for even more effective grind setups. Definitely something that I have been considering trying out, and I think it could be really, really good. Now, if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving a comment down below and hitting the like button before you go. If you have the ability to use the hype feature on YouTube, be sure to hype this video up. Not everybody's got it right now, but for those of you that do, I really would appreciate it, as it helps get these videos into the top 100 hyped videos, which greatly promotes the channel, and that would just be an insane thing if we could ever get a video on there. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace, peace!